Assalamu alaikum 10th class. This is your chemistry class, and today we are going to do the chapter number 10 of the chemistry book. That's name is acid, base, and salts. In this chapter, we will discuss about the acids, their properties, and bases, their properties as well as their uses, and then we go for the salt, how the salts are formed, and their properties, how they compare with acid and base, and then we go for the uses of the salts. In this chapter we will discuss how the acid and base was discovered and what are the concept behind the acid and base and what is the comparison of acid and base. If we talk about the history, the Jabir bin Hayaz was the first scientist who discovered the H2SO4 and who talked about the acid and base. So Muslim scientists have very great contribution in the formation of the acids and base and their properties. First of all, we discuss about the general properties of acid and base. Here I had drawn the table. In the book there is also a table, you can see there, and you can also do the comparison as well as the property. In the board there must be the question like the properties of the acids. Compare the properties of acid and base, and there must be a separate question about base. What are the properties of base? First of all, we talk about the taste. You have experienced in the daily life that the acids are sour taste. Anything you have tasted it and you come to know there is a little sour taste, like lemon, unripe fruit आपके पास जितना भी है, whatever it is, unripe form में है, not a ripe form, so it must be a little bit sour. So it means there is some acid, like lemon have acidic acid. Next, the bases have slippery, bitter in taste. Sometimes the children do have to taste the base soaps. They are bitter in taste, as well as if you touch the soap, they are in slippery in touch. So the common example of the bases are a soap which we have in the daily life we have discussed it. They may be liquid, they may be solid, they may in the form of bars, in the form of shampoos. They all have the bases, they contain the bases. Okay, next, if we perform the test to find out either the given solution is acid or base, we use a litmus paper test. This litmus may be blue, may be red. So majorly, if your given solution turns the blue litmus into red, it means it is acid. If it turns the red litmus into blue, then it is a base. Do remember that if the blue litmus turn into red litmus do not have any effect of acid, as it is that blue litmus do not have any effect of a base. This is the test which is majorly done, and this test is commonly used in the daily life as well as in the laboratories, as well as in the wherever we want to judge whether the given solution is acid or the given solution is a base, we go for this test. That is a red litmus test, and it is very common test, and it is very useful test for the measurement of the either the given solution is acid or base. Next, about the acids. Nature of the acids: corrosive in concentrated form. Concentrated form means they have more amount of the acids. You can use the acids we use in the bathrooms, for the cleaning purpose, for the drainage open. If you see in the daily life, when we open the bottle of the acids which we use for the drainage opening or cleaning of the floor, cleaning of the washroom, they have fumes. And sometimes if you mishandle that, these fumes can irritate your skin, your hands, and any body part in which you are directly contact with that acid. So it is very important to not use the acid directly for the cleaning purpose or for the drainage open. Otherwise, if you are using that acid, to use in the dilute form, as well as try to change the concept to use the acid for the cleaning purpose, because they could be very corrosive and you have lifetime problems for that. So we have very too much bathroom cleaners are available, or drainage opens are available in the market. So this was the daily life example. Otherwise, if you open the bottle of the acid, they have fumes which irritate your skin, your eyes, your hands. So they are corrosive in the concentrated form. If we talk about the bases are usually not corrosive in nature. Either they are in concentrated form, but there are two bases: sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Both are corrosive in the concentrated form. Sometimes you use the soap and you feel the irritation. It means in this soap, because base is the basic ingredient for the soap. So when some sometimes you feel that the soap is irritating for you. Yes, this you have rashes due to use of such kind of soap. Yeah, you have scalp in your head, and you are using the shampoo of a different type, so sometimes it irritates your head, it irritates your skin. It means that soap consists large amount of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. That's why it is hazardous for you. So they are all the bases are non-corrosive in nature except sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. The last one and the last one property is the conduction. In the aqueous solution, the acids are very good conductor, and they conduct electricity very well. You can see in the rainy seasons. So water is a universal solvent, dissolve many things inside it. So it becomes a very good electrolyte. It becomes very good conductor for the electricity. The next one is the conduction of electricity in the aqueous solution. They also show the conductivity in the aqueous solution. Bases are also show the conductivity in the aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means you mix the base in the water. Otherwise they may because it is very difficult to use the acids or bases directly, so we usually use the aqueous solution of acid and base, and both can conduct electricity in the aqueous form. Now we study about the first concept that given by the Arrhenius, was a scientist who gave the first concept of acid and base. According to Arrhenius, what is an acid and what is a base? In 1787, Arrhenius defined the acid. Acid gave hydrogen ion in aqueous solution. In your book, the definition of acid written in the italic. So do remember, you have to learn that definition as it is. Acha, on ionization, it gives the hydrogen ion. So first, it is very important to learn about the ionization. What is an ionization? Ionization is a process in which we converts the molecules molecular formulas into their ions, positive or negative ions. Here we discuss the general reaction of the ionization. In the general reaction, you can see that there is a compound hydrogen and acid, and there is it ionizes to H plus sign or A negative ions. This is the positive part and this is the negative part. This is the whole concept of the ionization. Ionization usually take place in the water. When we added any compound in the water, it converted into its ion, positive and negative ions. If your acid is strong, it produce more positive or more negative ions. Challenge. Let's we discuss with the examples. Here we have examples HCl, HNO3 and H2SO4. This is a hydrochloric acid, nitric acid and sulfuric acid. These both are acids are very corrosive hard acid, but this is the king of the acid, that is the king of the chemicals. Take the first one is the, if we see their equations, so HCl dissociate ionize into H plus ion and Cl negative ions. HNO3 in water dissociate in H plus ion and NO3 ion. These both acids are mineral acids. So mineral acids are more corrosive than other acids. The third one is the acetic acid. You are familiar with the acetic acid that is used flavoring of the food in the previous classes you have studied about it. It's an organic acid. Our organic acids are usually mild acid because it is found in lime, in oranges and in the unripe fruits, and artificially we use it as the vinegar. So it is a mild acid, not very corrosive in nature, and we can eat that acid, and it produce hydrogen ion, but it do not completely ionize. Completely ionize means there are some hydrogen atoms in this acetate ion, so there is a mild ionization of hydrogen ion. That's why they are known as the mild acids or organic acid and not very corrosive in nature. But if we talk about hydrogen, HCl, we talk about HNO3, these both acids are mineral acids and they are corrosive in nature and they completely do ionize. The strong acids always completely ionize. Complete ionization means they converted into positive and negative. There is no positive part in this one and there is no negative part in this part, but here is a hydrogen also present in this part. So it means that they are strong, they show strong ionization, while these acidic acids show the weak ionization. The next concept is about base. According to Arrhenius, says that bases gives hydroxyline on hydrolysis or on ionization. When the bases are added into the water, they give the hydroxyline. ठीक है, the negative part is hydroxyline. Important part is hydroxyline. The general reaction of BOH, B plus and OH negative. This is the general reaction. We have some examples of the acids are sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide. I have told you before that sodium and potassium are very strong acid. They are corrosive in nature and they radially ionize. फौरन से ionize हो जाते हैं. Sodium hydroxide converted into sodium ions and hydroxyline, and calcium hydroxide converted into calcium ion and hydroxylines. These are the general reaction for the bases. So according to Arrhenius, the compound having H ions and OH ions, they can be written as acids and a base. The above other observation, either you are going for the taste or you are going for the litmus test. Other than those, you have two way to judge either it is a acid or base. Acid gives hydrogen ion and bases give hydroxyline. So the summary of the Arrhenius concept is that Arrhenius concept can be summarized that acids give hydroxyline and bases give hydrogen ion. This is the complete concept of the Arrhenius, and this was the first concept and very comprehensive concept for that time, because it becomes more easy to judge chemically whether it is a acid or is a base. If they are acids, they give hydrogen ion, and if they are bases, they give hydroxyline. These are the two simple ways to judge by seeing the formula of the acid and base. Okay, acid will give hydrogen ion and base will give hydroxyline. You have lot of examples in your books for acid and base, like sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide and aluminium hydroxide, as well as bases have hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid and phosphoric acid. In the table, the table at page number 22, the जो आपको दे एसिड्स बताए गए हैं वो सारे के सारे कौन से एसिड्स हैं? मिनरल एसिड्स हैं. सो दे मस्ट बी corrosive in nature. Here are some limitations of the Arrhenius concept, because I have told you before that it only give the about hydrogen and hydroxyline, but there it's only applicable in the aqueous medium. Yani if you have water, then you can judge whether on the basis of ionization you can judge either it is a acid or it's a base, because hydrogen and hydroxylines usually produce in the aqueous medium. Without aqueous medium they do not produce. So it was a limitation. Okay, if you don't have water, then what will we go for? Okay, how can we judge that this is an acid and this is a base? The next was the limitation is that this concept only contain hydrogen and hydroxyline. According to this concept, the only hydrogen are those which give hydrogen ion, and bases are those who give the hydroxyline. What about the other elements? Yeah, what about the other compounds who cannot produce hydrogen and hydroxyline, but they can give acidic and bases effect? That like carbon dioxide and ammonia. Carbon dioxide, when react with water, it converted into carbonic acid. It means it have acidic properties. Ammonia, when react with water, it converted into ammonium hydroxide. It means it have basic properties. But they do not because they do not produce hydroxyline, hydrogen ion, like carbon dioxide is not able to produce hydrogen ion in aqueous medium, and NH3 is not capable to produce hydroxyline in the aqueous medium. So what do those? How can we explain their effect of acidic and basic in nature? So these was the two limitations of the Arrhenius concept. So the next work will be done upon that. Okay, if your compound do not contain hydrogen ion or hydroxyline, so what will be the how can we judge that either it is a hydrogen and hydroxyline? So these was the two limitation. If we talk about if we talk about the concept of Arrhenius was wrong or right, so it is right concept, completely right. Still we judge if any compound containing hydrogen or if any compound contain hydroxyline, it is acid and base respectively, but it was limited for those who do not produce hydrogen and hydroxyline in aqueous medium, or they have a nature with water, acidic and basic in nature with water, but they do not produce hydrogen and hydroxyline in water. Like carbon dioxide have a basic nature, acidic nature with water. Ammonium have a acidic nature with water, but their acidic nature is a little different, not to producing hydrogen and hydroxyline. So Arrhenius concept was not wrong for that time, but it was limited for two, still not, sorry, it is still not wrong. We can, right now we also judge that a compound containing hydrogen and compound containing hydroxyl are acid and base, but for that, but it is limited. So these are the limitation, not the defects of the RNS. And if we talk about the questioning in the board, so RNS concept can be as a long question, and you have to write the definition as per written in your book in italic form, and the examples are written, you have to write it as, and the question of limitation also in the short questions, they talk about what are the limitations of RNS concept, limitation, not the defects of RNS concept. The other concept is Bronsted-Lowry concept. The time has come to discuss about the chemicals, to discuss about the substance which do not have hydrogen and hydroxyl. So I have told you before that the RNS concept was not wrong, it was limited. So Bronsted and Lowry, two German Danish chemists who talked about the talk about independently about the nature of the acid and base, or he talked about on the basis of proton, not on the basis of given of hydrogen and hydroxyl. They show the little bit elaborated form. Achha, first we discussed what is a proton. Here we are discussing the proton as hydrogen, because you can see that hydrogen have one electron and one proton in their atom. If I draw the hydrogen atom, one proton, no neutron, and one electron. So this state is that in which the hydrogen have given that one electron to someone else. Now it is only a proton because there is no neutron already. So this is a proton. The acid is a substance which donate a proton. Acid is a substance, ion or atom which donate a proton, and base, on the other hand, base is a substance which accept that proton. Definitely do remember, until unless you are donating something, there must be someone who accept that. If there is nobody, you are donating something and there is nobody to accept it, so you are not able to donate that. So it is very important to have the acid and base side by side according to Bronsted-Lowry in a chemical reaction. If there is there is only a donation of the proton and there is no acceptance, so we cannot judge what is acid and what is base. So it is very important for a chemical reaction in which we are trying to judge the acid and base on the basis of the concept of the Bronsted and Lowry. So we should have the acid and base in our chemical reaction. So both can be happen side by side, so we can judge whether it is a acid or it is a base. Here we are discussing the two examples of the acid and base. I have ammonia and HCl. If you see, the HCl is also, we can say that HCl is already acidic in nature because it produces hydroxyl. The other quality of the HCl is that it can easily produce, it can easily donate the electron. As you can see in the chemical reaction, ammonium, here we discuss ammonium as base. Ammonium also act as a base in the water as well, but because it shows the ammonium hydroxide which is a basic in nature. So here is we have see the simple example. Say that hydrogen, they will donate this HCl will donate this hydrogen to this ammonia. It will be converted into ammonium ion, get positively charged, and as the HCl donate one proton to the ammonia, so there are remaining is chloride ion. So it is an acid base because it accept that proton, acid and base because it donate an electron. This is the simple example. The other example is HCl with water. HCl I have told you before कि वो RNS के हिसाब से भी very good acid है, as well as Lowry Bronsted, according to Bronsted-Lowry it is also a good acid. So here hydrogen, because it have a capability to ionize and readily ionize and produce more and more hydrogen ions. So HCl is an acid, it will donate one electron, one proton, sorry, it will donate one proton to the water, and water will convert it into hydronium ion, H3O plus and Cl negative. These are the general examples for the Bronsted-Lowry concept, and very easy concept and very easy going in the sense to judge whether if there is no hydrogen and there is no hydrogen ion, so we can judge either it is there is a proton. So our RNS concept was not wrong. It is extend कह ले इसको कि Bronsted-Lowry ने जो है उसको extension दी किसको, concept of acid and base को, to judge whether it is an acid or whether it is a base. So this is the concept according to the Bronsted-Lowry, that the donation of electron is called base, and acceptance of electron is called donation of hydrogen is called acid, and acceptance of proton is called a base.